So I just ran in the Vaporfly 4s. You're going to see it in the new docuseries episode. But if you run in those or you run in any carbon plate, I don't know how you're doing it and not realizing that they're injuring you and causing more problems. So welcome to the Run Pain Free podcast. You're about to learn today and make educated decisions. Once you have choices you don't realize you have and you are given choices, you can make an educated decision. That's what this podcast is going to talk about. If you woke up in pain, walking around in pain, you ran this morning and now you're in pain, or you ran this morning and you didn't feel like you were able to finish your run, so you pulled back. That is super common, where people are supposed to hit a certain mileage and they don't, and they stop. If you did that, listen up, because there are things going on in your body you are unaware of. And what you are hearing online and what you are believing as law is actually not. So welcome to the Run Pain Free podcast. I'm your host, Coach Jessica. I am a sports biomechanics, athletic injury correction, and conditioning expert. And we are reviewing a whole bunch of different sneakers from an injury expert's opinion. So everything out there you're looking at, it's from pro runners or the sneaker company themselves, or it's from your friends. What's missing as a review is from an injury expert's opinion. And so that's what we're giving you, because it doesn't really matter if you're running in pain, if you're not enjoying your run. I don't know why you're running. If you don't feel invigorated and encouraged every time you run, I don't know why you're running. And it's a little psychotic to like have terrible runs and repeat that and like not fix it. So that's what you're on the Run Pain Free podcast for. And if you're not, you can see your way off of it. We are here for you, the person who's in pain and actually doesn't want to be. And more than that, wants to understand why they're in pain and how on earth could this sneaker have anything to do with it. Well, I'm not going to give away a whole bunch of stuff, but I am going to tell you, I ran in that sneaker, the Nike Vaporfly 4, and you'll see it all in the docuseries. And the pains I had immediately were alarming. Number one, I've already ran in them. I ran in them years ago when they first came out. There's no sneaker that I talk about that I haven't put on my foot and or have worked with people who've gotten them, which is why it's Run Pain Free data that we talk about a lot. But the carbon plate sneaker in general is a large problem. And that's why the powers that be were actually questioning their efficacy and if they were actually legal to be on courses. So there's a reason for all of that. We'll get into that later. But I'm talking to you, and I want you to get to understand what's going on with your body with these sneakers. So you have a fear of changing the sneaker that everybody is telling you should have, especially a sneaker store, let alone your friends and even the pro runner you like. Let's just take the pro runner out of it. Let's just talk about, your group, your community, whatever type of community you have for running. Not everybody runs in groups, but that's a thing. That's a big thing. I do find that more people that are in run groups have more groupthink around them. And I'm going to keep pressing all this into your brain. That is a individual sport. Running is. It's an individual sport. It is not a group sport. So everybody can do whatever the hell they want to do. It's got nothing to do with you, nor do you have anything to do with them. So like when anybody is pressing around and dripping little fear-mongering comments all around you that you should be in a carbon plate sneaker, immediately you need to get your brain to a protected place where you're not so influenced by everyone around you. And it's also not your fault, because if you are just getting into running or you've been a runner for a long time, I don't care. It doesn't matter, because no matter the minute you scroll over one thing of running, your entire algorithm is going to be flooded with that same ideology. So it will feed you exactly what you slowed down on, what you replayed a few times. And so you don't have to be a runner of 25, 30, 40, 50 years like most of our runners are. You could be a brand new runner and get the same information. Just you got to do, that's the power of the algorithm. You slow down and all of a sudden you're flooded with information that supports that narrative. So unless you know to look for something different, you don't know there's something different. And that means it's not your fault. But if you are on this Run Pain Free podcast, you are now getting totally different information. So much so, we've been online. We have over 100 episodes. We've been online since 2009, way before the running boom, if you will, which came definitely during the pandemic, but like 2015, 16, 17, and then blew up in the pandemic. Things that we say were never said. And so I know a lot of people have stolen from us, especially this past year, and are copying literally our IP, not even spinning it. They're just literally copying and pasting it onto their sites. There's been reels made with my exact breakdowns. So if you are hearing anything I'm saying from somebody else, know that it was more than likely stolen from us. That's a fact. So the point is, we are ones that are saying things you won't hear anywhere else. So if you are constantly getting fed that algorithm that you slow down on, you're never going to see something from us that says anything opposite. It's rare. They might like throw a few in there just to see if you wanted something different, but it's kind of not as, what should I say, equal opportunity like it used to be back in the day, in the algorithm. So there's that. And so again, that means it's not your fault because you didn't have that information, but now you do, and then you're gonna be able to go to the link in the description and go see the docuseries and actually see what I'm talking about. So you want to run pain-free. I don't think anybody actually wants to run in pain, but there's a fine line between wanting to run pain-free and then having a belief system that is bestowed upon you that being in pain means you're a runner, and then there's an identity attached to that and there's an ego attached to that. And that's where I'm going. I'm going to the deeper part of it. I'm going to why would you ever accept pain as a runner? And there really is only two options in terms of health. You're either going to be on the side of healing your health or you're going to be on the side of band-aiding it. There is no gray area when it comes to health. Now, because this is what I do for a living, I will be personal and say that type of attitude does not work everywhere. But I live, breathe, and eat this, and it is either going to heal or you're going to do a band-aid. There is no in between. Health doesn't give a shit about your feelings. Never has, never will. So you have to be aware of that and seek understanding of your body and what's going on with your body. So that's the first thing. I don't believe you actually want to run in pain, but I do believe there's an ego and identity attached to being considered a runner, which tends to be on the side of once you're in pain running and once you start getting all of the gadgets, the carbon plate sneakers, the tape, the braces, seeking all these different things out that you can get, the Theragun, all this craziness. Now you're a quote runner. And so that is where I think, I know, based on doing this with thousands of people for decades, this is a real issue. And so when people hear this podcast or hear me speak either on a live or a webinar or at an event, it sparks connections in your brain. And that's what this podcast has done for years, and that's what I want to keep doing. So the docuseries is going to put visuals to that. Now, when you see me run in the Vaporflies, you will see a significant difference from how my stride is in the Nike Freeze. Now, the Nike Freeze I ran in on this episode is the Nike Free 2020 Flyknit, but there's also a part, I'm in the 2019 Flyknit also, which is the slip-on. That is my actual personal favorite of the Freeze, but they're very, very hard to find, although they are still on Amazon, but they're very hard to find. But the 2020, 2017, 2018, 2019s, they all are on Amazon, and 2018s are still a top seller for Nike, so they're on Nike. But you will see the difference in my stride. I'm short, I'm Sicilian, I'm 5'2", and I have a very long stride for my leg length and my height. So you can visibly see the difference, particularly on turns. And I will leave that little seed for you to make note of the turns. I'm not going to say anything else about the turns. So when a runner would come when I used to be in person, because we're totally online now since 2020. We were 60-40 for a long time, and we went fully online. But anyways, when we were in person, I would get somebody would come with a new sneaker. I'd like take the sneaker off, and I would run in it. Now, I don't have to run more than, 50 feet for my mechanics to tell me what that sneaker is not allowing to happen mechanically. Why? I'm a corrected person. The Run Pain Free program was developed and created on me in extreme pain with severe injuries after being hit by a truck as a pedestrian. So the program was developed on me in pain every everything a person comes into this company to do, I've already done, and it's been done actively in pain to figure out how to fix that thing or whatever that person's coming for. So a corrected runner is a prevented runner. And so you don't need to be running dysfunctionally for 3 months, 3 weeks, a year before you actually get injured. Your body will tell you immediately. Now I'm going to sidebar. When people come into Run Pain Free, they are overwhelmed a little bit with the amount of opposition that they've heard to what happens in Run Pain Free. And they literally strip themselves down to foundation and rebuild the entire system ground up while learning the system ground up. I have runners that have been running as long as I'm alive. I have runners that are brand new. And what's interesting to me is the runners who come to us that have been running as long as I'm alive, and I'm 47 or longer, actually have less hesitations than a brand new runner. The brand new runner gets all of the algorithm, gets everybody's suggestion, gets everybody's advice online, all of the marathon groups, all of the run groups online, especially in Facebook, are horrendous with the amount of obnoxious advice that they have zero education to be giving. It's always interesting to me that it's the runners who actually have so much more experience that are just like, I'm just gonna do what you say, and that's it. And that's why they get fixed, and that's why they're still running 70-something years old, pushing 80. That's still why. So that's an interesting factor that I want you to kind of sit in with the information. The reason we're doing the docuseries is because the Run Pain Free person is a person who wants to be educated. Are you a person that wants to be educated? Are you a person that wants to learn your body? Do you want to understand why you're in pain? Then you're a Run Pain Free person. If you're somebody who just doesn't care and just wants a pill and a Band-Aid, please again, get off. This is not for you. There is really two different people. It's a person who's going to want to heal, and there's a person who just wants to Band-Aid it. That I'm going to reiterate that and show you that's who you are. One of those two people as a runner. You're one of those two people as a human, okay? And that's why running really does mimic life in terms of how you approach it, in terms of how you address things that come up, how do you prepare for it. All of that really talks to you as a person, and the ultimate understanding of that is running a marathon. I always say running a marathon will change your life if you actually go through a proper marathon cycle. It's life-changing because it literally it exhausts every aspect of your life as a human foundationally, and you can't skirt anything. You can't cut corners, because when you cut a corner, you're going to feel what you see in your algorithm. You're going to feel what you hear in the run group. You're going to feel what you see on Facebook specifically. So that is always a huge learning aspect of a new runner running their first marathon with me at Run Pain Free. And I love it. I love when I get them, because I want them to hear all of the noise and then actually see that their body doesn't coincide with that. And they're like, well, wait, I don't feel that way. Oh, wait, no, that's not that. Oh, wait, I have Jessica in my pocket. So I'm getting information from an actual expert who can see what I'm texting her, what I'm telling her, what I'm feeling, and she deciphers that and says, oh, you need more of this, less of that. Let's adjust here, let's adjust there. And the app isn't giving me that. That's right. And so that's where there's a lot of this penetrating false beliefs that a runner is getting online. And there's nothing like this carbon plate sneaker that does that. Sneakers are a big deal. I've had people completely sabotage themselves, not as a runner, because let me tell you something, if you're in pain as a runner, you're in pain in it as a human. So forget your run days. Like just forget, that's like minute of a problem to you if you are a person who constantly is running in pain and never addressing it, and you would refuse to change your sneakers and you're fine with it. That's a sabotage. That's not going to just be your running. That's going to be life. That's going to show up driving. That's going to show up on a plane. That's going to show up at your job. That's going to show up when you pick up a kid. That's going to show up when you go grocery shopping. That's going to show up when you're cleaning your house. That's going to show up when you try to go up some steps. So this will follow you. So I've said this for years, even way back in my early podcast. I know I can fix anybody who has the will to be fixed. period. So we have as many non-runners as we do runners. But when I fix a runner, I fix a human. And so that is my way of being able to get to penetrate the whole aspect of the person through running, to getting them to live the life they want to live, as well as being a runner, and enjoy both aspects. Because if you are sitting on this right now, you're probably in pain, and you already know that this running pain translates into daily life. That's a whole different ballgame. And there's no other sport really that does that like a runner, because the mechanics of running is the mechanics of walking. So again, when your running sucks, life is gonna suck too. And that's all because of what's going on with your mechanics on the run. And so the carbon plate sneaker, for the most part, is marketed to be in the sneaker, and it's going to absorb. You're not going to feel the pain. It's going to give you bounce back, so you'll it'll be more energizing for your body. It actually gives you more efficiency. It propels you. All this is hogwash. Let me explain why. When I was running in this sneaker, one of the biggest takeaways, I don't want to give it away, but one of the biggest takeaways was the effort. And so for it to be marketed like this sneaker is doing all the work for me, it was the complete opposite. And so again, I am a functionally corrected human being. So my body knows when something is off quickly. And pain-free runners' bodies know when something is off quickly. Now, if they delay that, they're going to perpetuate that action, that mechanic, and it's going to get worse and worse and worse. So the Run Pain Free program teaches you, A, to have a foundation so your body is always telling you what's going on. Your body is free, it's not locked up, so it's actually revealing what's going on, so you can address it so it never becomes anything. This hogwash that you using your body, you're never going to feel anything, that is not the same thing as an injury. So stop, let's just clear that shit up right now. You're using your body, you're going to feel it. That's fine. That's normal. That's just feedback for what you need to address as a person who's being athletic and using their body in the most demanding way they can, which is distance running. That's proper. But if you don't know what that pain means and you go buy a carbon plate sneaker because you're being told by not only the sneaker, but everybody around you that the carbon plate is going to take away pain in your legs and your knees and your feet, and you won't feel it anymore, then you're going to do that. However, all that is doing is masking the actual feedback that Run Pain Free programming teaches you how to do. So that's where that mechanic lockup begins, and why it starts to what we call ping pong here. So you need to understand why your body gave you whatever pain that was. And if you have a sneaker that's hiding it, masking it, you're not gonna know why. You're gonna actually believe, oh, the sneaker fixed it. See how this belief system becomes something? Because you put the sneaker on and you felt less pain, which is what I talked about in the first, my previous podcast about the first episode, the pilot. So there's a belief system around this sneaker that, quite frankly, is completely false. I talked about in the other episode about being conditioned and trained for that level of bounce back in the sneaker, and how much your core, which is your truest core muscle, is your psoas, which again I say is the most important muscle in the body, connects your upper body to your lower body. It is your major it is your major hip flexor. It is how you sit, stand, walk, or run, and lay down. And so if your core isn't developed to sustain that bounce back and be able to have a stability in your own body, then the sneaker is going to create a lockup from the ground up. So when you see me running it, you can actually see the uncertainty. You can see I don't look comfortable. I don't look comfortable at all, because this is from an injury expert's opinion. This is from the injury expert. I'm looking at the sneaker. I'm running in the sneaker because I don't give a shit about anything other than, am I running healthy and am I running pain-free? Period. I don't care. Nothing else matters. Your pace doesn't matter. Finishing the race doesn't matter if you did it unhealthy and in pain. It doesn't matter. A lot of people who do one and dones, especially New York. New York is a big one and done race because it's the biggest in the world and everybody wants to run New York. There are so many people who do one and dones and are injured for years because of that one marathon. Years, because they didn't prepare, they didn't treat their bodies the way they need to, they didn't fuel for it, they ran under fuel, they ran not conditioned, they ran under trained, because training and conditioning are two different things. And so then they pay for it for years because no one really puts a lot of that to you, the person. They say, oh, the run hurt you, the marathon hurt you. That's all bullshit. That's all stuff fed to you on the algorithm online. That is absolutely inaccurate. You are the problem. You already have an imbalance. Human beings are naturally dysfunctional. You only know that to the level you use your body. So if you're a sedentary person who sits down all freaking day, you're not going to feel anything. You're not going to feel any imbalance. But if you're a person who actually moves around and likes to work out or cleans, cooks, has kids, has a family, let alone is a runner, you're going to feel your body. And so you will have to understand what that is. And putting on these sneakers that say, hey, you don't have to feel that, the minute you take your sneakers off, what happens? Pain goes back. Here we go. Pain is back. That should be your first red flag that the sneaker didn't fix shit. It actually just masked it so you can run. So now again, check yourself again. What kind of runner are you? Are you a runner who doesn't care how their body feels post-run? You only care how it feels on the run? Check that. Check that, because that's a decision you need to make. And whatever decision you make is totally fine, by the way. You just need to know you're making a decision, because if you never had this information, you didn't have a choice to make. And I'm going to bestow upon you tons of choices you now can make for the betterment of yourself, period. So in this chaos that is looping around you, you don't even realize how fundamentally inaccurate it is. But I don't think you realize how much is around you, because it's everywhere in your algorithm. It's everywhere. If you look on any platform, it's going to be there, let alone if you're in a run group or what you see in the streets, or especially if you live in a big running town like New York City, like LA, like Berlin, like Australia. Like these are big places that are big. I mean, there's major cities all over the US that are big running communities. So again, it's like what you're around and what is constantly around you. You may not even realize that that's what's being said to you. Now, for me as an injured person and as a person with a lot of health issues my whole life, I'm not an influenceable person. I don't listen to people. I research, I educate myself. I literally went to school to learn biology, to help myself and to get my own health on track. Majored in business, minored in biology, biological health sciences, on purpose to learn so I could fix myself. So that's how I go about things. It's how I've always gone about things. So it is hard for me to sit here and talk to a person who's getting influenced, who is listening to people around them, because I don't understand that mentality. But I understand it because I work with all these runners that have experienced that. So that's where I understand it from. But if you're asking me personally, no, I don't get that. What does your body have to do with my body? Not a damn thing. I don't care what you're doing. I don't care what you're not doing. I care about, am I healthy? Am I okay? Can I live the life I want to live? That's what drives me to fix me. And that's what I drive with when I'm fixing others. So where you hear me say I don't care about your feelings, it's not me being mean. It's that there's one job: fix the person, give the person back trust in their body. Period. And it's not about anybody else. It's only about you. And why you started running in the first place was about you. Even if someone motivated you to get you to start running, or you joined somebody running, you're the one out there trucking along. So you are the one, actually, you have more self-motivation than you realize, because you're not on a team rowing boat where you're all rowing together. You have to kick your feet front, forward, back and back by yourself. There's no one else on there but you. So at the end of the day, let me remind you, you yourself have your own fortitude and your own will and your own motivation, or else you wouldn't be out there in the first place. So let's get that back. So where I come from, and you'll see this in the docuseries, I show pictures of me as a 3-year-old when I had when I had an umbilical hernia and it was protruding out, and you can see the picture, I show it, and I'm dancing on a table naked. This is a very big, it's a common known picture of Jessica growing up as a kid, and I did it to show the energy of what I had at that age. I show a couple of different pictures and different stages in my life, and I'll continue to do that because it's giving you, when I say I've been doing this my whole life and I've actually I live, breathe, and eat this, I have nothing but proof of that. So that's what I'm showing it for. You know, because of that hernia surgery, it created severe intestinal dysfunction thereafter. So I started with stomach issues, which was really intestinal issues, from 3 years on up. And what I don't say in the video, which I'll say here, is I actually woke up in the middle of that surgery. They did not have me under enough anesthesia. And this is 1981, I believe. I was 3. And so they apparently did not put me back under anesthesia. They just quickly pulled my skin together and sewed me up, and didn't tell my parents about it until the middle of the night when I woke up screaming, apparently. So that whole, whatever they did and whatever happened when their rush situation to get it back together, I'm sure I would have had intestinal issues anyway because of the hernia, but it was definitely magnified by the way they sutured my butt up. And so that created intestinal dysfunction from that all the way through to age. I started having really strong, really bad, severe stomach pain, legit stomach pain, not intestine pain, stomach pain at age 8, 9, and 10. And I kept complaining about it more and more and more. And by the age 11, finally got diagnosed with an ulcer at 11. So I actually started studying nutrition at 11 in encyclopedias in my bedroom that we had, the big old gold and brown encyclopedias, as well as testing food, making note of food. I was logging in 1988. Logging was no food logging was not even a thing. And so I was logging I would run down at the end of the night because I pretty much felt sick every single night for my entire youth. So I would run down exactly what I ate in my head. I didn't write it down. I was logging in my head, and I would run it down to my mother to go over each thing that I ate so I could figure out what I should not have eaten together or back to back. 10 years old, 11 years old, 12 years old, this is what I'm doing. So I always say to people, you think I'm bananas about injuries, talk to me about nutrition. All right, so this is where I go into the fact that knowing how the body moves is knowing how the body isn't moving well. So you can know anatomy and physiology and what it looks like nice and perfect in a textbook, but the human body doesn't move that way. Movement is very messy, as my mentor Gray Cook says of FMS. And movement is very messy. So, and science likes things very clean. And so these two things don't marry. You have to know this so that you can be the Mary, and I'm that person. I am the person that marries life and textbook and makes it make sense. And if you don't know how to do that, then you're not going to do that. And that's not your job either. I do get a lot of people who, once they're in, they go through a time period where they still will look things up or try to figure it out on their own. And I'm like, that's the whole point, is that's no more of that. This is my job. I do that, and I'm going to teach you. And then we have an exceptional amount of resources in our Run Pain Free Academy that also is for our people to learn videos, master classes, other experts that I've worked with in the entire realm of health and running. So there's a transition period where you're so used to Googling hip when you actually are, when you're touching your actual part of your pelvis. And then you get all this information back for your hip, but your pain's actually your iliac crest, not your hip. And so you don't even know what body part is actually in pain, because there's social, I call it social vocabulary. It's half the shit is wrong. And to this day, I still have people, I teach our people these things, because people will still think I'm like, no, send me a picture pointing to what you think you're feeling, because I know they're thinking it's one thing, pointing to something else. And that's fine, but that's all from the algorithm. That's from the social media, which leads me to you asking people online for sneaker advice. I don't even understand that. It's egregious when I see people asking injury advice, but I'm gonna bring it on down to the sneaker advice. The sneaker advice online is from what? What are you going into a carbon plate sneaker for? Can you answer that question right now? Did you have an answer when I asked you? If you didn't, that's your first red flag that you shouldn't be in them. If you're in it for performance, okay, and what do you do for performance? If you have an answer, I would love to hear it. Please DM me, please comment. But unless you are conditioning sport-specific training as a distance runner, in addition to that, a run program, because running is not conditioning, running is a part of training, and you don't run to run, you condition to run. If that wasn't your answer, also wrong, another red flag. So, which I mentioned on the previous episode, the previous podcast episode, I should say, that being at the New York City Marathon this year, seeing how many people in the later corral were in carbon plate sneakers blew my mind, because they're performance-based sneakers. So they're not a sneaker that someone is really running a 6-7 hour marathon in. They're not. It's a sneaker someone's running a sub 330 and under, sub 4, I would even say. I'd be nice, say sub 4. But that's not who was in it. So this sneaker is actually doing so much more damage, because it's not being utilized for, quote, what it's made for, let alone if you're a person who is running a sub 4, sub 330, and you didn't condition for that, you too will be injured. You too will be injured. And so understanding why that is, understanding why that the sneaker is so involved in it is understanding the chaos. Let's talk about it real quick. You cannot put all of this credit to the sneaker, that it gives you, it propels you, it makes the running effortless, it gives your legs energy, it's going to prevent injuries. You put all of this credit on the sneaker. At the same time, you have to also say, well, the sneaker could possibly be causing a problem because it's on my foot, and my feet are what's actually running. So if there's anything on my foot that is not enabling my ability to run, or locking up my chain that I need to run, the sneaker may be a culprit. The sneaker may be a problem. Maybe the sneaker is not for me. It's a very specific type of sneaker. It's not a sneaker for all. I don't think it's a sneaker for anybody, personally, like at all. I don't think anybody should be in the sneaker at all. I actually would say it's worse than Brooks, and the Brooks is the #1 injury sneaker to run pain-free data, meaning I take log of every single person that I have a consult with from day one, 19 years, what sneaker they're in, and the #1 sneaker that they're in coming to me in pain with is Brooks. #2 is Hoka's, and I'm going to tell you these Vaporflies are worse. They are physically worse than those two sneakers. That's just the short of it. There's nothing in that but I wanted to run in it and see what it felt like, so I can actually give you physical, what I felt, when I felt it, how I felt running, what I could do, what I couldn't do, and that's what's all in the docuseries that you can see it. So when you free that mechanic up, you're going to feel the difference between what it was to run in the carbon plate that you gave all this credit to, and now you're going to be in the Nike Free, and when you run in them, you're going to feel everything. Which is the first response? Oh my God, I feel everything. Right. Why wouldn't you? Why wouldn't you? Why don't you want to feel your body? Why don't you want to feel your body? You want to feel your body so you can address it and fix it. I don't understand this whole idea, I feel something, let me shut it down. Like the principle of that in and of itself is horrendous. Just the principle of it. Like you wouldn't do that with your emotions, and if you do, there's a problem. You know that. There's people who just shove down their emotions. Maybe you're one of them. That's, again, why I tell you, what you do in running is going to translate to life. It's going to translate. So if you are quick to run and grab a Band-Aid, a tape, a stability sneaker, a carbon plate sneaker, a brace, shots, then you're a person who also probably doesn't deal with their emotions and wants to get rid of it quick. How's that working out for you? It's not going to work out well. You're going to erupt at some point. Your body's going to revolt at some point. So like, free up your body. What is it? What the hell is the problem? Fix it. What I want to encourage you is hearing, no matter what you have going on, whether it's physical or emotional, I promise you can sort it. You just have to be courageous enough to actually confront it. That's all. That's all. You can fix it. You are not stricken in pain because you're a runner. You are not stricken to pain to run because you run for stress relief and you don't want to tell anybody what you're stressed out about, so you're going to run. So you're just going to endure pain so you keep running, and you can exert your energy that way so you lash out less because you're still stressed out, but you exerted your ass. So you don't have the energy to lash out at anybody. See that cycle? You see that cycle? If you free up your feet, forget your emotions, free up your feet, you will start to feel what's going on with your body. And then you join the Run Pain Free program, and I will translate it for you, and we'll get to the root cause, which is why the docuseries is called Root Cause. Because we've been talking about the root cause for 2 decades, and more than that, but 2 decades on these airwaves. And so that's why you want to feel your body and understand what you're doing. A lot of people short stride. You all short stride because you believe you dictate your pace with your legs. No, you don't. Distance running is an endurance sport. Endurance sport is cardiovascular, which means lung and heart. Your lung and your heart need to be conditioned and trained in order for you to be an endurance athlete. You never even got to the endurance athletic training part because you're still in pain. You don't even have a stride that's functional. So you're never going to get to actual heart and lung conditioning. And if you think you are, it is skewed because you have to, pain is precedent. Pain has to be dealt with first. And then you can get to your heart and your lungs. The tail end of correction is heart and lung training. And the only way that I do it is when I hear organically someone say, oh my God, coach, I ran so great today, but I couldn't keep up with myself. Now I know I need to do heart training because now the body's ready for it. Not until then. Not until then. So you all short stride. It is the #1 cause of injury on the fly, is people shortening their stride. I go over this in the docuseries. When you shorten your stride, you are now no longer extending your hip. Your hip extension needs glute flexion. Glute flexion is how you are going to push off. Ankle extension, hip extension, glute flexion. From that exchange comes to hip flexion, glute extension. That exchange has to happen so you have a functional mechanic stride and run. If you are short striding, you never extend or flex your hip. You never extend or flex your glute. You're never going to get into that glute. It's never going to happen. So one of the #1 first text messages I get back from people when they first start running in our program is, oh my God, I felt my glutes for the first time on the run. Good job. Those are my favorite booty messages because now I know you're opening up. So until then, you never get even there's no even remote learning of an open stride. There's no way. You're never firing your glute. And if you're not firing your glute, you're not getting proper support to not your back, your knee. Your knee. Your knee's direct functional support is your glute. So if you're never firing your glute, why the hell do you think your knee is going to extend and flex? It can't, because it's shortened in the range of motion of the joint because it has to come from up top. Now, does your glute support your spine as well? Yes, and I'm sure you probably said back, which is fine. You are correct. But I want you to know that the direct support for your knee function is your glute, not your quad, not your hamstring, not your calves. No, no, and no again. Absolutely not. Not happening. So if you think about that and you have a knee that's constantly slightly bent and it's never fully flexed or fully extended because your hip isn't and your glute isn't, now you're just running, you're compounding a bent knee, a bent knee, a bent knee, a bent knee. Well, let's do something real quick. Just stand up. Wherever you are, stand up. I just want you to buckle in your knees. Stand up and lock your knees and then just buckle. Just stay there for a second. What do you start to feel? Your calves are starting to fire because now all your weight's in the front of your toes and your ball of your feet. So ball of your foot, calves, which we did last episode, right? Well, I felt pressure in both of my knees immediately. Now I'm starting to feel the front of my ankle, My little itty bitty ankles are getting loaded by my entire body weight right now. So now do that for 5, 6, 7 hours. In a carbon plate sneaker that also ticks you forward. So it perpetuates that forward pressure. All of your body weight is on the front of you, loading your knee, loading your shin, loading your ankle, and loading the ball of your foot, which is loading your calf, loading your Achilles, loading your hamstrings. Your hamstrings are the result of a psoas dysfunction. So if your psoas can extend, so can your hamstrings. If your psoas is firing, so are your hamstrings. The psoas is more important than your hamstrings. So no, you don't have tight hamstrings. You have flexed hamstrings the entire time you're running. So you built muscle to stay like that. You don't have tight hamstrings. So take your ass to the floor and go and stretch because you have tight hamstrings. Now you just strained your hamstrings because the range of motion up the joint is what dictates your ability to move, not your muscle. So when you stretch a hamstring that you have been flexed for 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 hours running, then you're going to strain it to try to stretch it because the joint itself has locked up the ability for that extension and flexion. You see, it's complex. It's not clean. It's not simple. There's a reason why this is an actual career. There's a reason. And there's a reason why the amount of study and experience I have personally with working with thousands of people is where all the stuff you hear comes from. Number one, it's something I've done my whole life. Number two, I've done it on myself. The program's been developed on me. I have gone through every facet of movement. I've worked in different facets of the medical and health system. I've done certain things on myself. I have tried things on myself. I have done a lot of things. And people ask me, what book should I read? I don't know. Like, I'm from experience. I went to school for biology. I know movement. I have a ton of certifications. I have thousands of people that I've worked with and thousands of hours that I've done it on. The experience itself is what's the most educational, because you can have a degree in anything. That doesn't mean you know how to apply it. That means you know how to take a test. That's what that means. So again, that's why I say when I worked at Equinox, people would come in with masters in physiology and they would have to shadow me. They weren't allowed to touch people just because they had a master's in physiology. I mean, I shadowed many people that went and worked for the NFL after working with us, they would shadow me. Many of them. So there's an understanding to understand application. And so I always say, a trainer, if you want to be an actual personal trainer, you need to go work in a gym where you are open to all different types of bodies, all different types of health issues, athletic backgrounds, lifestyles, jobs. Like, you don't get that anywhere else like you do at a gym. And the experience itself is why no one's really touching Run Pain Free, because we literally make it our business to work with as many people as possible so we can get better information and deliver it so that it helps more and more people. So that's what comes down to the aspect of why does Jessica say she has this many hours, or where does all this come from? It comes from years of doing it and also being educated, consistent education. I read medical journals for fun. Like the heart podcast, I think it was 2 years ago. I did it for 3 years before we released it. I did it, I think, 10 times over the course of 3 years because it was so science, and I want to make it digestible so you guys understand it, because the heart is the really most important aspect of running, but we'll get there another day. So now you got choices to make. You have a choice to make. What kind of runner are you? Are you a runner who's going to learn your body and address it and heal it? Are you a runner who just wants to band-aid it and you don't really care about running that long? You just care about running right now. Make the decision. Make a decision. Do you want to understand why when you're in the sneaker, you may or may not feel something, but then when you get out of the sneaker, it's worse? Do you want to understand that? That's a decision to make. It's a choice to make. But above all these choices, what choice I want you to make right now is go listen to that docuseries, going to the description and go click on the link and go watch the docuseries. Watch me move. Look at it. You can it's very visible to see the difference. And I talk about it real time. I say what I'm feeling real time. And it's important to understand that because I can say what I'm feeling and bring it back to you. Now, the Run Pain Free runner is a Run Pain Free athlete is an educated person, meaning they dig for information, which is why you're on this Run Pain Free podcast, because you want to run pain free. You don't understand why you're not running pain free because you're doing all the things you're being told, but it's all chaos and hogwash. And so I'm going to cut right through that like a hot knife. Okay. So now you have information. Go into your closet, go grab your sneakers, go and test them the way I showed you in the first episode of the docuseries. Go grab them. Look, what kind of sneakers do you have? Did you do that? If you didn't do that, go listen to the podcast, go listen to the docuseries episode 1 again, and go do what I told you to do then. And come back, make a decision. You have to understand your body. And if it is locked up in any way, shape, or form, and it's taking over control of you, you will never get there. It will just keep getting worse. And every person in the medical cycle for mobility is not going to help. Not because of any other reason, then it's just not their curriculum. They do amazing things. Doctors do amazing things, but mobility is not it. And so I'm going to get deeper into this because I went into a run store and I had a whole thing done, and that's going to be in the next episode. So stay tuned to that one because, oh my goodness, I can't get into it. So make a decision. Go watch the docuseries as choice number 1, decision number 1, and then do what I told you to do in the last episode and watch the episode where I'm running in these 2 sneakers. Watch it. Look at my feet. Look at my ankles. Look at my stride. Stop it. Pause it. Rewind. Look at it. I am a sports biomechanics, athletic injury correction and conditioning expert. That is who is explaining what's happening to you in this docuseries. So I hope you enjoyed this podcast. Please comment, post, DM me. We are here for you guys. We want to give you the information you need to better use your bodies and get to the root cause of whatever that is plaguing you. Have an amazing day.